Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Megan's grand plot has crumbled, but we're not done just yet because at least part of her dream still lives on. The latest twist is sure to take off longtime fans, but if the show actually runs with it, it would be something new. A new man. So we're in the endgame of the Megan saga. Marlene is home, already forced to try making peace between Eric and Belle's bickering. Stephanie's getting calls from her mom and Megan's toying with hope. I did love that scene. You can't tell me what to do, Kayla, you're not my mom. And Beau, I know this will be unpopular, but if his return story was truly about his rising up, not just from death, but to take over the Kyriakis Empire as Victor's true successor, I think I'd be more excited about this. But I know fans just want him back with his family. I'm fairly certain this was written and filmed before John Aniston's passing, but honestly, there's no one else in the family right now who could take Victor's place. Turning Beau in that direction would be a fascinating twist. But they could do this story without the brainwashing stuff that's driving folks crazy. Beau was dead for 7 years. Coming back to life like he did would make anyone reevaluate their life, who they are, and who they want to be. That would provide more tension because we know this youth serum empire building plan will fall apart. And since Beau's not just reacting out of trauma, but because his brain was scrambled, it's bound to be undone. Ultimately, this new Beau stuff feels like it'll just be pointless as it drags out his reunion with Hope. With that said, am I the only one kind of hoping for a Beau/Steve throwdown? A solemn mystery. Meanwhile, do any of us really believe for a second Sloane ransacked Paulina's office? It's such an amateur move. Plus, what are they looking for if nothing was taken? Then again, the cutout note makes it seem like it was meant to terrorize more than anything else. And if that's the case, it did its job. But it still doesn't seem like Sloane's MO. Besides, when something's that obvious and the show pushes it down your throat, or Paulina does, that's never what happened. As for who actually did it, Sloane did mention a brother. And then there's the old well of TR. Paulina just brought him up again with Talia, saying if she could survive his abuse, she's not the type of person to have a panic attack. We're all a bit fed up with the revolving door of death, but it doesn't have to be TR himself who broke into her office. It could be someone who knew him and blames Paulina for his death. Just please don't bring him back from the dead. Love, disconnections, unpopular opinion too, yes, to Chloe and Sander. I don't feel like sparks are flying, but they're being pushed together regardless. Or rather, Leo's pushing them together to the point that they'll end up hooking up, because no one else in town will want to have anything to do with them. I don't think they have serious relationship potential, but yes please, let's try something outside of Gwen/Sarah, even though she's gone, and Brady/Philip, even though he's gone. Maybe if Leo had been hugged more as a child, he wouldn't run around taking creepy pictures of others doing it. But we're back to a problem I have. It feels like the show just isn't ever giving anyone a chance to dig deep. Either pairings are set up to intentionally be shallow, Eric/Sloane, Gwen/Alex, or they just aren't allowed to ever get off the ground to stop feeling shallow like Wendy/Johnny, and even Gabby/Stefan's reunion. In some cases like Eric and Sloane, it's clear that something deeper is forming between them. Plus, I love their dynamic, just as I love seeing Sloane and Nicole trying to tear each other apart because of it. But how many of us truly believe that they've got potential to be a genuine romance? Since being defrocked again, Eric's moved from Jada to Nicole for a nanosecond to Sloane. Nothing's been given time to gel. Why do we expect this to be any different? As for Wendy and Johnny, can anyone tell me why they're still together? Anyone? When they first met and started plotting together, the sparks were flying and they were playing off each other. Now even when they're interacting, it feels like they're just going through the motions of dating. At most a situationship rather than a relationship, because they're just too lazy to call it quits. Neither of them feels that into it. I know I'm not. Wendy and Trip too. It's clear there's more fire there than with Johnny. But that was teased so long ago and went nowhere, it lost its momentum. And now we're supposed to jump back on board when we only get them maybe once a week. Wendy's amusement watching Trip dance around with his cereal was cute, though. About the only recent pairing I could see working, besides Stephanie and Chad. But outside of the Kayla news, they've been shunted into the background for the most part, is Nicole and EJ. But that's mostly from EJ's end. Summy's never coming back, at least not full-time, so she is not his endgame. Nicole, though, should be a great match. As Eric said, she's got a rap sheet almost as long as EJ's. But she'd have to stop obsessing over Eric, and good luck with that. Eric, I know you're leaning into this whole ladies' man thing, but my eyes are up here, and if you don't look me in them, I'm going to smack you. Hard. Plus, while I enjoy their scheming together, I liked Eric most when they were both first getting back together and were just decent and kind with each other. Character growth. As for Gabby and Stefan, I'll just say thank God Days of Our Lives didn't write them as completely naive fools. I didn't expect them to get caught, but I was close to yelling at them through my television until Stefan stopped things. So where are we? Are there any real couples on the canvas who aren't longtime vets? Are there any pairings we actually think will work, or are they just, let's throw them together to fill time? Stray thoughts, please give us more Trask the Human. I'm pretty sure we all just about forgot she had a thing for Stefan once. That lie setup was kinda weird, but a fun weird. Justin, knock it off with the helicopter parenting. Good Lord, running to Maggie to get your son back to work is the definition of spoiled children and privileged parenting. Ludicrous as her getting into prison was. I really like Rachel when she and Kristen are together. Maybe Chloe really does bring out the worst in her. Did anyone else laugh at Kayla's comment about driving for the better part of the day? We'd all saw that aerial view of the island. It wouldn't even take a day to walk it. I'm not sure how much power the ISA has. But you really can't just sentence someone to 20 years in a state prison without parole without, being tried and all. That's not how this works. A furious Sarah drops by as Xander does push-ups in his motel room. What have I done this time to deserve your righteous indignation, he wonders. She yells at him for stealing the spectator. He tries to play it off, but Sarah knows better. When she won't let up, he shouts, "Fine," and admits to blackmailing Jack and Jennifer, but he won't tell her with what. It makes her sick that he did that to his best friend, and runs to the bathroom to throw up. Sarah returns, assuming she ate something bad, and rants over Xander being the same low-life thug he's always been. She's so glad she signed the divorce papers. Now she doesn't have to listen to her husband rattle off excuses for why he committed yet another crime against the people she loves. I'm done, she says, tearing up. For good. Rex comes to the Kyriakis mansion looking for Sarah, but only finds Maggie. She heard from Henderson that he left Sarah's bedroom the other day and demands to know what his intentions are. Rex knows Sarah isn't ready to jump into a relationship and declares they're just friends. Maggie wonders why he needs to see her then. He's going back to Chicago and wants Sarah to work at his hospital. Leo giddily returns to the Salem Inn room with his First Lady whistleblower gossip column. Gwen's eyes bulge as she reads that Sonny contracted scabies after a gay orgy attended by his father. Gwen rips it up. She can't print it because it's not true. Leo rolls his eyes. The truth is so 2015, he says. She declares the paper has standards set by her father and her late sister. She will uphold them to prove she is every bit as good an editor as they were. Gwen doesn't care who Leo goes after, but he has to find dirt she can actually print. Gwen comes by to see Xander as he drinks. She's excited over putting out their first issue of the paper, but detects his dour mood. He tells her Sarah found out they blackmailed Jack and Jennifer. She can tell by the look on his face that he's still in love with her and wonders where that leaves them. Xander cares about her a great deal, but he is still coming to terms with the end of his marriage. He's not ready to think about the future. Gwen suggests that until he is, They should keep things professional. He agrees. She leaves and cries against the door in the hallway. Sunny hangs up with Will as Chad comes into the pub. As they sit at a table, Sunny tells Chad he's moving to New Zealand. Chad is happy for him. When Sunny mentions Alex taking over as CEO, Chad remarks that Stephanie will be reporting directly to him. Sunny assures him there's nothing to worry about, but Chad isn't comforted. He never thought he'd feel this way again and is desperate not to lose her. But he is grateful that she's in his and his kids' lives. Justin enters and joins Sunny and Chad for beers. The men rib Sunny for selfishly moving halfway around the world. In the Titan office, Alex looks at Sunny's CEO nameplate. He says he'll miss him, but he could get used to this. He kicks his feet up on the desk as Stephanie enters. Alex tells her it's not official yet, but he's the obvious choice for the next CEO. He moves in close and asks if she will be okay working closely with him. The tension builds as she responds that as long as they stay focused and mindful of each other's boundaries, they should get along just fine. They shake on it and stare into each other's eyes. Leo bounces in with his recorder to ask Alex if he broke up, Salem's favorite bisexual bakers. Alex denies it, but Leo details his night of sucking lemons with Ali before a night of raunchy sex. Stephanie's eyes bulge, as she then hears Channel found them the next morning. When Leo brings up their threesome, Alex smashes Leo's recorder. Leo tells him to pick up a copy of tomorrow's paper because it will be a must-read. Leo prances away, leaving Alex to try and explain. Stephanie says what he does has nothing to do with her and leaves. Alex enters the pub and tenses when he sees Chad. Sunny asks him to play nice and Alex obliges. He sits as Sunny predicts Alex will kill it as CEO. Justin agrees because he's the most like Victor. Chad chuckles and says, he wishes. Sunny scolds him. Alex hugs his brother and they exchange I love yous. Alex heads for the door, ignoring Chad's extended hand. As Stephanie enters to say goodbye to Sunny, Justin hugs his son and leaves to see a client. Stephanie thanks Sunny for taking a chance on her PR company. He tells Stephanie and Chad to take care of each other and embraces Chad. I love you guys, he says before leaving to catch his flight. Alone, Chad notes to Stephanie that she'll have a new boss. Alex meets Maggie at home to discuss Titan business. She tells him Victor is out of town and asks her to relay that Alex is not the new CEO. Victor is giving the job to another Kyriakis. At the hospital, a nurse notices Sarah looking a little queasy. Sarah assumes it's food poisoning.